Yes, good morning, class.
Good morning.
Allow me to welcome you to Yr High School Laboratories, the best school in teaching sciences. Teaching science, theoretical science, without involving students in practicals is almost like teaching literature without reading books. How many of you intend to be doctors in the future? All right. So you are going to be working with human beings. A human being is priceless. So that is why we are training you here. Basically, you start with experimental animals. We have performed an experiment on the rabbit, on the mice, and today we are going to dissect a frog. You can call it specimen. Usually we call them specimens, these animals. Specimen F stands for frog. They are instructions which you have to follow step by step, until you get what the examiner or the teacher wants. Are we together?
Yes.
Yeah. So you follow step by step and you display the organism or the organ. You display the organ, and after displaying the organ, what happens? You draw it. You will be required to draw it. You draw it, and that means you have to be equipped with a sharp pencil. So you draw it, and after drawing it, what happens? You also show the magnification. What is magnification?
Magnification is how much an image or a specimen is magnified.
Yeah. The magnification is how many times the drawing is the size of the specimen. In this case, specimen F, which is the frog. How many times? You have to indicate that magnification. The other thing, we have to have the materials which will assist us to carry out this dissection of the frog. What are the materials?
Dissecting kit.
Dissecting kit. What does dissecting kit contain? Contains scissors. What else? Tweezers. Or what's the other name for tweezers? Forceps. What else? What else is there?
Needles.
Pins, dissecting pins. What else is there? Scalpels. Scalpels. So basically, a dissecting kit contains those. Right? What else do we need? The dissecting board or the dissecting. We need a bucket. Have you seen the bucket?
Yes.
Containing the animals? Yes. Alright? We need cotton wool. We need gloves which you are putting on. Alright? We need goggles. We need chloroform. Alright? What's the use of chloroform? To paralyze. Yeah, that is medically we call it anesthetizing. To anesthetize the frog if we are going to work on. My duty is now to provide you with the frogs, and you start the actual dissection. Right? Avoid please panicking. Now, before we start the actual dissection, I would like to talk about the topography. The topography of the frog. Alright? Topography of the frog. Alright? So, the topography, I mean, there is the front part. How do we call the front part?
The dorsal.
This is the anterior. This is the anterior, and the back part is called the posterior. Alright? And the side parts are called lateral sides, okay? And the top is called dorsal. And the bottom is called the ventral, right? So, what is my dorsal? As a human being, the back, because I'm standing here. This is my dorsal. This is my ventral. This is my anterior, and the bottom is my posterior. Are we together? Yes. Yes. So what do you observe? Let us talk about the morphology before you do the dissection. The morphology of the frog. It has
Moist skin.
moist skin. Yes. Why?
Because it breathes through the skin.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So, what do you observe on the morphology? What do you observe from the front, the anterior part? It has a mouth. It has nostrils. Yes. You observe the eyes critically. What is on you observe the eyes critically? There is a transparent skin. How do we call that? This frog, this animal, the frog, lives both on land and in water. Alright? So while in water, this nectating membrane you have talked about covers the eyes. Alright? And can be able to swim, to move about without any irritation on the eyes. Alright? Alright? And while in water, it breathes by means of the skin. Yeah. So both oxygen enters through the skin and carbon dioxide also comes out through the skin. And when it comes on land, it breathes using the lungs and the nostrils. But it can also use the nostrils when it is in water. Because oxygen which passes in the nostrils, it goes to that part of the organism which looks like a balloon. It has limbs. The limbs are for movement. That is walking when it is on land, leaping, swimming. How do you relate the forelimbs to the hind limbs? The forelimbs are short. They are short. Why are they short? For balancing. Alright? How many digits? There are 4 digits. Alright? So the forelimbs have got 4 digits. And the hind limbs have 5 digits. What is the other characteristic of the hind limbs? They are longer and they are also webbed. And they are more muscular because they are the ones, to give the animal a push as it jumps. Open the mouth and you see. Open, alright? And you see the tongue. How is our tongue attached in the mouth? Our tongue, we humans, our tongues are attached at the back. Alright? But in the case of the frog, the tongue is attached where? In the front. So that when it moves out its tongue for catching its prey, it goes further. Alright? You get that? Yes. You look at the upper jaw. Does it have teeth? No. No teeth. Observe carefully. The upper jaw should be having some. Yeah, there are some teeth on the upper jaw. Yes. Yes. Okay, so guys, that is all. You can start with as many skills as possible. So you pin it ventrally. The frogs, the mice, the rabbits, we do it ventrally. But in the case of the cockroach, when we are dissecting a cockroach, it is the one which we dissect dorsally. But this one, we do it ventrally. How do we call this incision? Medial. The medial is the one which runs in the axis to the middle. This one is lateral anterior. Lateral anterior incision. You do the same here, then afterwards, then you cut. So after that, you make a cut. No, don't push it. You make a cut here. This is called lateral anterior incision. Cut this. Lift it and cut this muscle. Alright?
Which muscle? The right one.
No, you cut here and you make lateral incisions also, such that you remove this part and you expose the internal. Yeah, let us first remove this and expose the whole anatomy inside.
These are the lungs.
The liver has the bigger one.
The liver has three sides.
Usually when it's a female, you can see the eggs of the female and the male because there are no eggs. It's usually black in color. The heart is still beating, and this is the liver. It has so the liver has three parts. It has the right lobe, the left lobe, and the middle lobe. That's medial lobe, which is right under the heart.
Have you observed the lungs very well? Yes. About the heart?
Yes. It's still small.
How many chambers does our heart contain? Human beings, how many chambers? There are 4 chambers. And how about the floor? Can you name them?
The downper part is the ventricle.
Yes.
Then the 2 atrium.
The heart is a sensitive part. Yeah? Is the heart protected? Pericardium. And of course outside it is also protected by the rib cage, including the sternum. Yes, and the muscles attached.
So when we lift the lungs, right below it we see a stomach. This is the stomach. It has a white color, and this red root-like are the veins. So the stomach produces an enzyme called pepsin. Pepsin is the fat. As well as under here, when you see it has a purplish color. So there's a tube that goes up to the esophagus, where when the frog gets its prey and eats it, it goes down the esophagus right to the stomach and brings the food down. The frog also has the small and large intestines. These are the large intestines, and the small intestines are these white, yellowish color. They're really small. As you can see, the lung, it was expanding more and more, which means it was taking in more oxygen. For now, it's paralyzed, but it can still breathe. So next, we have the eggs. Our frog is female, so it was already producing some of its eggs. As you can see, we have some blood substances in its body, which are considered as the eggs of the frog. They were not yet fertilized yet because it was still producing the eggs. So right here we have them as still little black substances. You can't take them out because they're stuck, kind of stuck together, still fertilizing. Hi, this is Yr12 and we have been doing a biology practical where we were dissecting a frog and seeing the anatomy of the frog and different parts of it, and it was explained how a frog breathes and how its digestion goes and its respiratory, its circulatory system. My name is Mariah. I'm cousin Ranji.
I'm Gisa Miguel.
I'm Eliza Blanche. I'm Mara Dukandane.
I'm a child of
I'm a Jesse.
Carl Casey.
I'm Nyangoma Leila.
I'm Hagania Ineza Olivia. I'm Tetoni.
I'm Kizan Cindy.
I'm Kanja Chili. I'm Mwela Sulu.
I'm Eliza Stacy.
My name is Kasaja Joseph Anthony. I'm a lab technician. These are our future doctors. Now we are making them acquire enough skills so that by the time they join medical schools, they don't fumble about with the real human beings. I wish this younger generation the best of luck. Thank you very much, guys, for your participation.